and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jason. Sergio, roll call, please.
Bob Burleson,
Here.
Yolanda Cardona,
Here.
John Gill,
Here.
Donna Little,
Here.
Jason Vlasic,
Here.
Nancy Woland,
Here.
John Kennedy.
Here.
Also, we have Attorney Adam Decker,
Here.
Engineer Ken Kraus,
Here.
Councilman Liaison Brian Blazak,
Present.
and Town Manager Chris Salatas.
Present.
All right, we got a full board here today, so thank you, everybody. First on the agenda, we have public hearings. The first one, we have Astoria, the rezone. Mike, if you're here, if you want to give us one last presentation before we open it up to a public hearing.
Hello, my name is Michael Herbers with Diamond Peak Homes, and again, I'm here presenting our Astoria project here in St. John. Now, of course, we've been here since April presenting this and have listened to what the commissioners have said and are interested in seeing. And we have done some further deliberation in our office. And obviously, we're here for the public hearing. We would like to hear what the public has to say. However, we are looking to defer our recommendation until the next meeting due to revising our plan further just to do what we can to appease the board as much as possible. After further research, there are other developments here in St. John that do have a mix of lot sizes within the development. So Diamond Peak would like to know if the commissioners would be willing to accept a mix of 80 up to 100-foot wide lots. Now, of course, we would be at the next study session to show what this new plan would look like. We obviously have come up from our original 70-foot to the 80-foot. The 80-foots are not currently taken too well still, so we are, looking for some considerations on a mix of 80s, 85s, 90s, possibly 95s, and 100-foot wide lots.
All right. Any questions or comments from the board? And Mike, just to I apologize, I could not be here for the study session, but I want to thank Yolanda and Councilman Blazak. I think the board understands. The reason for my push for more brick is exactly value.
Okay.
You want a consideration for a smaller lot. Well, I don't believe lot really determines the size of a home or the value of the
Correct.
home. I'm more concerned with the aesthetic or the architectural value. My Catholic school math, 30%. I'm not expecting the whole house,
Okay.
the back of the house. I'm thinking the front is 25, the wraparound up to 30, given the flexibility of the homeowner. But I understand you have different type of homes that all brick on a front is probably not acceptable.
Correct.
But the 30% brick, I know you brought up a term of a different type of material
So
that has the same type of value as
Correct.
brick.
The LP Smart Side versus a vinyl siding, it does hold the same value for appraisers when it comes to, value in a home.
So then you would be proposing potentially 30% brick, like a shelf at the bottom, and then this material that has the same type of value
On the
that
whole entire home.
that a brick would have.
Correct.
Okay. Because when I still see 30% on the front, that sort of, but I heard the comment in the study session where you were talking about that value holds the same as
Correct.
brick.
Yeah, so there would be zero vinyl on these homes, and the LP Smart Side does hold the same value as brick or stone.
Okay. Very good. Any other questions or comments from the board?
What was the original lot size? I know you said you changed it from 80 to 100. Was it 70?
So we originally came in at 70 back in April, and then redrew the plan, brought this lot size up to 80, which is where we are currently. And now 80s are still not being taken too well, so I'm still running the numbers, but we believe that if we had a mix of 80s up to 100-foot wide lots, we can make this development work economically.
Do you have an idea on the percentage of the mixes?
Not just yet. Of course, I'll have more numbers for the next study session. I would venture to guess there would be probably 30 to 40% 80-foot wide lots, 20 to 25% 90 footers, and then, let's see, that puts me probably like 35 or so 100 footers. Again, that's something we're still drawing up to see the best way to make these easements work with the lot sizes. But again, at that next study session, we would definitely have the total count of 80s, 90s, 95s, whatever they may be, and 100s.
For me, I think that's just looking at the percentages, for me, I think it's fair. I don't expect you to have all 100-foot wide lots. And I understand, the layout of the land with the pipelines and all that. And I wasn't really on board in the beginning with the face of the house. Because like I said, builders put in nice homes, and I don't really want to dictate what's going to be on that home.
Right.
Rather have the homeowner decide that, or the
Right.
builder and the homeowner decide that. So, as of right now, I think the percentages they seem
Pretty fair?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Hearing no other comments and questions, Mike, I'll have you sit down. I'll open it up to public hearing. Sergio, before I do, is everything in order? Oh, wait, I think you said public hearing documents received and all are in order. So
Everything's in order,
I
yes.
apologize for having to ask. All right, at this time, I'm going to open it up to public hearing for Astoria rezone, proposed RC2 PUD. I'm not going to name the number of single-family lots since there's a potential that that will be readjusted. So public hearing is now open. Anyone from the public would like to talk? Every,
Is that in general, or will we be able to speak at any other point in time?
Right now regarding this is specifically Astoria. At the end of the meeting, there is a public comment where you can talk in general about any topic you would like.
Thank you very much.
Okay, very good. Going twice. Sergio, have we received anything electronically?
We've not received anything as this evening.
Very good, we have not received. So with that, third time, going once, twice. Public hearing is now closed. Mike, I'll have you come up. So, Mike, from my understanding, you are looking for a deferral at this time?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions or comments from the board? All right, just one comment, just so the board remembers, besides Jason, less than a year ago, we approved an 80-foot lot PUD unanimously. So I understand the concern with 80-foot, but it's not unusual for this board to have approved that in the past. So I appreciate your willingness to move up because you did hear the comments of the board, and it's a majority rule. So with that, I'll seek a motion to defer for next meeting.
Want to make a motion to defer Astoria rezone?
I have a motion to defer. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I got a second by Yolanda. Roll call, please.
Bob Rolson,
Yes.
Yolanda Cardona,
Yes.
John Gill,
Yes.
Donna Little,
Yes.
Jason Vlasic,
Yes.
Nancy Rowland,
Yes.
and John Kennedy.
Yes. Motion to defer approved. We'll see you at the study session, Mike.
Perfect. Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have a public hearing for the Gates Water Tower. Proposed, we'll be looking for preliminary and secondary, so we will need two motions at the discretion of the board with that. Chris, any comments or?
No, this is still the, as I mentioned before, when we had come here, this is part of a settlement agreement. We are separating these two parcels. The west side with the water tower will remain the town's, and then the town will deed over the other remaining parcel.
Very good. Sorry, Chris. I will read into the record Ken's letter. Dear Plan Commission, we have reviewed the primary and secondary plats for the reference project and have the following comments. The subdivision project is to create a lot for the existing water tower and the west half of the right-of-way for Walnut Drive. This parcel was formerly known as the Gates of St. John, Unit 1B. The plat was signed in 2007 but never recorded. 2, we have reviewed both primary and secondary plats and find them to be satisfactory. And then 3, all the public improvements have been installed as part of the existing surrounding Subdivision except for the sidewalk along the west side of Walnut Drive. Public Works is currently working on having this walk installed. Sincerely, Ken Kraus. With that, is there any comments from the board? Discussion? I think we are set for public hearing. With that, I'll open it up to public hearing. Public hearing regarding the Gates of St. John Water Tower, primary and secondary plat. It's now open. Is there anyone from the public? Anyone from the public going twice? Sergio, any correspondence?
Not received any correspondence regarding this issue, this matter.
No correspondence. Third call for public comment. Public hearing is now closed. Bring it back to the board. What is the board's pleasure?
Want to make a motion to approve Gates Water Tower primary plat for Lot 1?
I have approval for primary plat. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Nancy, I'm going to give it to John. I heard him first.
Okay.
I got it to John, second. Any comments, discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Bob Rolson,
Yes.
Yolanda Cardona,
Yes.
John Gill,
Yes.
Donna Little,
Yes.
Jason Vlasic,
Yes.
Nancy Woland,
Yes.
and John Kennedy.
Yes. Primary plat approved. Is there consideration for a secondary plat for this, or secondary plat approval? And again, signatures, we'll have to wait, 30 days?
Yes.
Signatures waiting 30 days.
Contingent on that.
And I think that's a standard. It doesn't need to be contingent on that, right? It's standard, wait 30 days? Yeah, it's standard.
Okay. Want to make a motion to approve Gates Water Tower secondary plat for Lot 1.
I got a motion for secondary plat approval. Is there a second?
Second.
I'll second it.
Jason, I'm going to give this one to Nancy. I'm sorry. Second to Nancy. Any comments or discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Bob Rolson,
Yes.
Yolanda Cardona,
Yes.
John Gill,
Yes.
Donna Little,
Yes.
Jason Vlasic,
Yes.
Nancy Woland,
Yes.
and John Kennedy.
Yes. Primary and secondary plat has been approved. Signatures will be signed in 30 days. Next on the agenda, we have Gates of St. John, Unit 17B. There is discussion regarding, Tim, how are you, sir? If you want to introduce yourself.
I'm well. Tim Kuiper here on behalf of BLB St. John LLC, the petitioner for the Gates of St. John Unit 17B matter before you tonight.
In front of you, you have a request for a secondary plat. As you will see in your packet, you have the primary and the proposed. And Tim, you and I have discussed, some of us have seen this for the first time in the last couple months, so discussion regarding having a public hearing regarding this. I don't know what the pleasure of the board is. Tim, there's been discussion of having a public hearing based on the public interest, and some of us, this has been brought to us new, the improvements. Comments, questions for the board? Tim, any comments?
None. We submitted as an amendatory final plat. It's listed as a public hearing tonight. If you wanted to have a public hearing on it, it was advertised for your October 6th meeting. You didn't have a quorum at that time. You could certainly hold a public hearing at any time on any matter that you deem appropriate underneath your rules. I can certainly answer any questions you may have about the specifics of the request. I don't know if you just wanted it about the public hearing or not.
Were the
Sergio's,
notification?
Public
was it-
hearing in order? I was gonna ask that. You can go ahead.
So were notifications and the sign put up for that public hearing?
No, because no public hearing was required for a final plat. There was not submitted as a primary plat. If that's what the public hearing is being requested for, that's
Okay.
a different one with different requirements as you stated.
again, the board is aware of our ability to hold a public hearing based on the public good. I would say if that is the case of a public hearing and we're doing it in the public interest, I would recommend that it would be the town's responsibility to fund, to pay for the public notice and the public board to be done. Because it is our request for that public hearing.
Yeah, I think with the proposed and what was already recorded for this, there's a significant change to the easements and egress easements and the proposed use. And I think it would be in the public's best interest to hold a public hearing and start at the primary plat with this based on the changes and possibly get impact statements from like police and fire and things like that for public safety within the two lots.
Questions, comments from the board?
I totally agree. I also would like to get some comments from fire and police and safety concerns with the way the lots are now, laid out.
All right, if that is the pleasure of the board, I will entertain a motion to hold a public hearing regarding the proposed Unit 17B. If that is the pleasure of the board, I would make it contingent on the costs incurred for that publication of the public hearing would be borne by the town of St. John.
I'll make a motion to set Plan Commission File 2021-20, the Gates of St. John Unit 17B for a December 1st public hearing, contingent upon the town paying to advertise and fund the public hearing mailings and us having the impact statements from the various town departments, Public Works, Fire Department, and Police.
Very good. I have a motion for a public hearing at the cost to the town, as well as requests for impact memos from the Public Works, Fire Department, and Police Department in regards to the interest to the town, public interest to the town. I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Donna. Questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Bob Burleson,
Yes.
Yolanda Cardona,
Yes.
John Gill,
Yes.
Donna Little,
Yes.
Jason Vlasic,
Yes.
Nancy Woland,
Yes.
and John Kennedy.
Yes, motion for a public hearing for December 1st has been approved. Next on the agenda is the Gates of St. John, Unit 1H. This is for preliminary plat for a 3-lot subdivision. This is across from the water tower. Tim?
Mr. Chairman, if I could real quick, so that would be on primary plat, that'd be considered primary plat on December 1st.
Primary plat.
Well, we would have them come to the study
Well,
session.
I don't think that was part of the motion for primary plat. I think,
The comment was that it would be considered a primary plat. I just want to make sure we're talking about the same thing. If it's still on a mandatory secondary, that's fine. I just need to know where I'm at in the process, that's all.
That's a good question.
I thought that the significant changes required replatting the primary.
That's what I heard from you, but that's why I'm asking for clarification, so we're all playing on the same field. And then also the follow-up to that is, who is going to obtain the agency comments, police, fire, public works?
Oh, the town will.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a direction regarding, are we going with the primary? Is that?
well, I think that needs to be clarified. I think Mr. Kuiper's point is well taken. If it's coming back to the Plan Commission for essentially a replat or, of the primary plan, that would still require a notice, so the notice requirements don't change at all. But it would perhaps change what some of the responsibilities of the developer would be following that meeting, as opposed to considering an amendatory secondary plat. So it's the board's discretion, Mr. Chairman, how it wants to proceed.
What is the discretion? I mean,
I think
Sergio,
we've always
recommendation?
historically, if there was a significant change to something, we always started over at the primary plat level. And I think going from 2 lots with no end use, which was recorded before for these 17B to 120 row homes, I think that's a significant change that would warrant starting at the primary and working to the secondary.
Yeah, and just so everybody's aware, 242 units were approved on these lots when they were platted for 2 apartment buildings. This proposal is a reduction in that. The zoning, it's listed as R2 PUD, but it's actually R4, and that was by ordinance 1396.
recommendation, suggestion, gentlemen? John, Sergio, Adam, this approach, keep it primary. I mean, I understand what John's saying. I'm just trying to understand, implication between choosing between a second hearing for amendment, secondary amendment versus going to primary.
I think the first point is to confirm the current zoning for the parcel. I'm not sure that that's clear, notwithstanding Mr. Kuiper's comments. And so I think that needs to be confirmed.
I just need some direction from the board if we want to work with the applicant at a preliminary stage, work with them through the process based on the information that's presented as a significant change and moving forward with the public hearing as directed by the Plan Commission, or they're looking to see this as just an amendatory plat from what was initially recorded there. So the commission would just please advise the staff on how they'd like to see this move through the process.
I'm with John. I think that what was recorded and what's being proposed is definitely different. It's significantly different, I would say. So I'm with John in terms of just starting as primary.
Okay, so that's the motion that has been made, and if anyone has any objection, we'll just go with that one. All right.
Thank you.
All right, Tim. Next on the agenda, we have Monfort Subdivision. This was a primary plat for one subdivision. Per their attorney in a letter.
Gates.
Did I miss something?
The bottom of the.
Sorry, buddy. Like, jumping ahead.
He didn't even move.
All right, Tim, go ahead. Sorry.
Tim Kuiper here again on behalf of LBL Development LLC on this one for the Gates of St. John, Unit 1H. 2 agenda items before item B. That was the one that the town presented for the water tower that is on the west side of that drive. These are the 3 lots that are on the east side of that drive. And as the town manager indicated pursuant to the settlement agreement, the town has already deeded this property over to LBL Development. We're requesting a 3-lot subdivision to finish out the units that are to the south of this. This will be exactly the same. This is included in the covenants for that. In a year-ish from now, you wouldn't even know that it wasn't part of it originally.
Thank you for making that comment, Tim.
I believe that's everything. We've talked about this before, but I'm happy to answer any questions. It is set for a public hearing tonight. It was originally scheduled, notices, advertisements in the paper, sign posting for the October 6th meeting. It was continued because of lack of quorum at that time.
Yes, and the only comment I would recall from a study session is 2 neighbors came in just to verify that the aesthetic would look similar, and per your comments, you are agreeing to the same look and aesthetic, so thank you for that. All right, any questions or comments from the board before I open it up to public hearing? And this again would be for primary and the discretion of the board secondary plat.
Yeah, Tim, what's the zoning on this parcel?
It's that R2, and I apologize, I don't recall if it's PUD or not, but I'm,
Okay, because it says Jones C2, Zone C2 PUD on Tony Strickland's plat, but I think it's public, so you'll probably have to rezone it.
I believe the zoning was correct, but because of the water tower property, they just listed it as public, but that whole thing, before the water tower was even kind of put there or planned for that, it was,
So I know like fire
wanna say
stations stuff are usually
R3.
zoned public, so I don't know if they zoned it for that and then.
there was never anything zoned public in there by the ordinance. I believe it's R3. And I can confirm that later on with Sergio, but that's in that ordinance 1396. That was that original annexation ordinance.
Okay.
And I just don't have that with me tonight. I apologize for that.
That bears no issue on plating it, right?
No, I think you could play it, but you just gotta have the zoning to get the permit for what you're trying to build.
Okay. Thank you, John.
That would be a later.
I have a
issue.
question. This entire area where the water tower is and these 3 lots, was that to be a fire station at one point?
At one point, it was transferred over to the town with the idea that that could be a fire station in the future.
But it was found out to be too small, the lot area, or?
I think there was a lot of considerations that went into it, in particular, response time with the tracks and different things, and the location wasn't optimal for the fire department.
Okay.
So I believe they were looking at an alternative site. So that's, I think, why part of the abandonment of this site.
In the gates, alternative site? Okay.
Or in another location that the response times could be more uniform with current facilities.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments from Tim, or for Tim? All right, Tim, I'm going to open it up to public hearing. Per my notes, they are all in order for public hearing. So opening up to public hearing, the Gates of St. John, Unit 1H. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak?
Yes.
Sir, if you would, state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for your time and the opportunity to exercise my right to free speech. My name is Terry A. Nelleman. My address is 9500 West 103rd Place, St. John, Indiana. I'm here today in regards to the Gates of St. John Homeowners Association, which is a part of John Lawton's corporations or whatever. The main reason why I'm here today is I've got notification from Lennar, the Dangerous Built Homes by Lennar, of some kind of litigation. So basically what I am here,
I don't want to take away your free speech.
right,
This public hearing is specifically for this unit, this plat. There is a time afterwards where you can speak about anything related to anything in the town, but right now, this public hearing is specific to Unit 1H.
okay, thank you.
Okay,
Yes. Sticking with Unit 1H, we have a situation with the Homeowners Association harboring the dangerous homes that are being built, that were built by Lennar. And basically, I'm here to try and, for the council, to please try and halt any kind of moving forward for the Gates of St. John or the Lawton Group. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm not naming it the right way, but I'm only going by what I read off the paper. So basically, as far as that one that one specific item, again, just please, if you can, postpone everything. Defer it as long as you can because of some kind of litigation that is going on, which I was notified by Lennar. And that would be considering, it's got to do with the Homeowners Association harboring the building of these dangerous homes by Lennar. Thank you.
thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else from the public? Sergio, have we received any electronic
I
correspondence?
have not received any correspondence regarding this matter.
Hearing no other public comment, I'm going to close the public hearing. Tim, I don't know if you're aware of any, this is Lennar Homes being built, correct? No, these are not
There
Lennar
are
Homes.
no Lennar homes in this section of the gates.
Okay, of this 1H.
That's further
Okay.
to the north, but that's not here, and I am unaware of any issue, but there's no Lennar homes in this area.
In the 1H that were,
Correct.
okay. Very good. I just wanted to
This does pertain to the HOA, Gates of St. John Homeowners Association, which is ran by the Lawton Group.
understand, sir. Okay, thank you. There would be time for public comment if you want to come up
I
again.
apologize.
No. All right, I apologize to the board, I did not read this letter first. Gates of St. John 1H. The subdivision project is to create 3 duplex lot on the east half of the right-of-way for Walnut Drive. The parcel was formerly known as the Gates of St. John Unit 1B. The plat was signed in 2007 but never recorded. We have received both the primary and secondary plats and find them to be satisfactory. The development fee is $150 or $1,500 and should be paid prior to signing the secondary plat. All the public improvements have been installed and part of the existing surrounding subdivision except for sanitary sewer extension along the east line. If you have any question, please contact this office. Adam, Sergio, does this run into the situation of timing?
Timing with regards to the 30-day hold
Or
on,
the 12th? Has there been similar conversation? If no primary plat, oh no, this is primary, sorry, my bad.
this is a primary.
My bad. All right. You have heard the public comment. Any more questions for Tim regarding primary plat? If not, what is the wishes of the board?
I want to make a motion to approve primary plat for the Gates of St. John, Unit 1H.
I have a motion to approve preliminary plat. Is there a second?
Preliminary or primary?
Preliminary. Sorry. Or
I'll
prime-
second.
Yeah, primary. I got a second by Jason. Any comments, discussion? Roll call, please.
Bob Rolson,
Yes.
Yolanda Cardona,
Yes.
John Gill,
Yes.
Little,
Yes.
Jason Vlasic,
Yes.
Nancy Woland,
Yes.
and John Kennedy.
Yes. Is it the motion of the board to provide secondary plats with signature within 30 days?
Want to make a motion to approve the Gates of St. John, Unit 1H, secondary plat.
I have a motion for secondary. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by John. Comments or discussion? Roll call, please.
Bob Rolson,
Yes.
Yolanda Cardona,
Yes.
John Gill,
Yes.
Donna Little,
Yes.
Jason Vlasic,
Yes.
Nancy Woland,
Yes.
and John Kennedy.
Yes. Motion approved, secondary approved. Next on the agenda, we have Mini Subdivision. We have received a letter from their attorney asking for them to withdraw the application. Just for our record keeping, we have been asked to make a motion and a second to officially withdraw the application for primary plat for the Mini Subdivision. So if I can get a motion and second to withdraw. Withdraw, proper term? Sergio, yep, okay.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to withdraw the request for primary plat for a one-lot subdivision for Meany subdivision at 8901 Deodore Street.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Donna. Discussion, comments? Roll call, please.
Bob Rolson,
Yes.
Yolanda Cardona,
Yes.
John Gill,
Yes.
Donna Little,
Yes.
Jason Vlasic,
Yes.
Nancy Woland,
Yes.
and John Kennedy.
Yes. Motion to withdraw approved. Next on the agenda, item F, Gates of St. John, Unit 23B, seeking final secondary plat for a 50-lot subdivision for single-family homes located 150 feet south of the southeast intersection of West 105th Avenue. Tim?
And if I could speak to both F and G, because they were done at the same time, I can still speak to it again, but in particular, again, Tim Kuiper here on behalf of LBL Development, LLC. We're here on a final secondary plat for a 50-lot subdivision that we have entitled Unit 23B. The primary plat for this entire subdivision for this area was done in December of 2019. In November of 2020, the first phase of 107 lots was approved. We are now requesting the additional approval of these 50 lots for 23B, and then conversely, the next item is 52 lots, which is known as 26B. The engineering letter is in should be in your packets tonight. Everything is in order. The fees have been paid, and a check for the performance improvement costs has already been submitted to the town on both this item F and the next item G. I'm also happy to answer any questions that you have on this.
Tim, when were these initially platted?
This was initially platted December
23B
of
and
2019.
Both of them? Or just the
The
fir-
whole, the whole area was, we did this whole plat right at the end of 2019 in December. And
Tim,
then last year, in 2020, in November, we did the first phase, which extends the primary plat automatically underneath your rules. And so the idea when we came in this with the primary was there's basically five phases, a little over 100 lots each time.
Tim, there's been question if it was done in July of 2019. In July of 2019 and November of 2020 extends beyond a year, which in our subdivision control ordinance, it has to be approved within 12 months unless,
It couldn't have been July of 2019. That would have potentially have been the application for zoning.
is there a way to move forward with verification on when primary plat was to make sure it's within our subdivision control ordinance timeframe?
We can go back and look at the minutes of December 2019. Let me, maybe.
And which one was in November 2020?
The phase, if I could go up here, if you don't mind. This first area, all in here, up into here, so this whole phase one.
So we're showing, yeah, that,
This whole thing was done as the primary in 2019.
yeah. So I'm showing, and I think what you have before you is the whole presentation there of 2019, and then I've got a recorded plat of what was identified by Mr. Kuiper there. Looks like it was recorded in 2020. I'm not sure if I can read the year, or the November 4th, 2020.
So the December of 2019 was accurate
I'm showing November, it was recorded,
of 2020.
of 2020, yes.
But these were,
What is these?
I'm sorry,
Yeah, I think he's referring to the primary.
23B
Primary plat.
and 26B. Was it December of 2019?
I don't have any, this is the first I've seen 23B and 26B when they filed that application. Let me pull that information up. I think they filed it last month, was it, or a month ago? Let me check.
Yeah,
Just want to
early
make sure we're
October.
dotting our i's, crossing our
Yeah.
t's, Tim.
So
I
it looks
understand.
like, oh, where's a signed copy? Looks, well, it was filed September 30th.
John, in my notes from June 3rd, 2020, the Gates Unit 22, lots 2249 to 2258 was given, had a public hearing and was received primary plat approval.
Okay.
What date?
June 3rd, 2020.
If I could approach, Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
This is from the town website, the town commission meeting minutes for December of 2019. You see that on the top. If you scroll down, you'll see the 8 Gates East, which is this entire project that we're talking about, was approved in December of 2019.
Sometimes these come in handy. My notes.
Nope. Okay. And we're just trying to verify information.
I'm just trying to,
Okay.
so that we have information.
We had July of 2019.
That's, again, I believe that's when the zoning
Okay.
discussion started on the project. We worked through that for a couple of months. We were also doing annexations under north and south parcel of that, just to.
We're just dotting our i's, crossing our t's, making sure we're meeting our subdivision control ordinance. All right. Yeah, he has it December of 2019. And then if there was another one in November of, it continues on. Sergio, you said there was one in November?
So, no, I mean, Attorney Kuiper's correct in the sense that it was primary plan 2019, and then they came back for the, one of the phases. There's 2 recorded plats that I'm showing here. They're recorded November 4th, 2020, and they are identified as Privet Drive and along 105th, and then the other one being Whitney Place and 105th, so.
Okay,
That's, again, up here and then that.
all right. Sorry for any inconvenience, and we're just making sure we got.
Nope, happy to help.
All right, so in our letter, we have Gates at St. John. I'll start with 23B. We have reviewed secondary plat from Ken Kraus, Deer Plan Commission. The subdivision project is for 50 residential lots and associated right-of-way. We have reviewed the secondary plat and find it to be satisfactory. The application fee is calculated at 50 lots at $200 per lot at $10,000 and should be paid prior to signing the secondary plat. The development fee is $1,682.74 and is calculated at 2% of the construction cost minus the application fee, which is $1,000. Okay, do the math. The public improvements have not been completed, and a revocable letter of credit in the amount of $16,610 to cover the cost of public improvements not yet completed should be submitted to the town, or a surety bond and other method of ensuring the completion of this work is submitted and should be in the amount of $19,630. Surety bond or letter of credit.
We did a cash escrow with the clerk treasurer, and I have receipts for that.
Okay. Usually we make a recommendation for the town to accept.
Understood.
So I was just trying. So we have a recommendation, or not a recommendation, we got the letter from Ken regarding secondary plat. Any questions or comments for Tim? If not, if I can get a motion referencing Ken's letter.
Make a motion to approve the Gates of St. John, Unit 23B, secondary plat,
Secondary.
with referencing Ken's letter.
Yep, I got a motion for approval of secondary plat referencing Ken's letter. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
I got a second by Yolanda. Discussion from the board. Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Bob Burleson,
Yes.
Yolanda Cardona,
Yes.
John Gill,
Yes.
Donna Little,
Yes.
Jason Vlasic,
Yes.
Nancy Woland,
Yes.
and John Kennedy.
Yes. Next on the agenda is Gates of St. John, Unit 26B. This again is for secondary plat. Letter from Ken. This subdivision project is for 52 residential lots and associated right-of-way. We have reviewed the secondary plat and find it to be satisfactory. The application fee is calculated at 52 lots times 200 for $10,400 and should be paid prior to the signing of secondary plat. The development fee is $0 and is calculated at 2% of the construction cost minus the paid application fee. The public improvements have not been completed. An irrevocable letter of credit in the amount of $16,280 to cover the costs of public improvements not yet completed should be submitted to the town, or if a surety bond or other method of ensuring the completion of this work is submitted and should be paid in the amount of $19,240. That is from Ken Kraus. Questions or comments? Again, seeking secondary approval, please reference Ken's letter.
Want to make a motion to approve the Gates of St. John Unit 26B secondary plat for 52 lot subdivision.
I got a
And referencing Ken Kraus's letter.
I got a motion to approve secondary and referencing Ken's letter. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
John got a second. Discussion. Roll call.
Bob Burleson,
Yes.
Yolanda Cardona,
Yes.
John Gill,
Yes.
Donna Little,
Yes.
Jason Vlasic,
Yes.
Nancy Rowland,
Yes.
and John Kennedy.
Yes. Motion for secondary approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Next on the agenda, we have Smythe. Am I doing that right? Dental. This is development site plan for a medical office use for the dental practice / oral surgery surgeon at 10815 Park Place, Zone CPD. Name and address for the record.
Thank you.
Yeah, I definitely have. Several times.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jeff Kilberg. I'm with Apex Design Build, representing Dr. Emily Smythe, seeking formal site plan approval. I was here at last week's, or 2 weeks ago, the BZA meeting, and we received variance approval for all but one item. That would be the bicycle parking. And so we've added a new bicycle parking spot on the site plan. And Ken provided some good feedback, and we added one additional landscape island in the parking lot. Outside of that, the overall site plan remains the same as previously shown. So with that, I will answer any questions that anybody may have.
So Jeff came before the BZA, which Nancy and I sit on, requesting several variances, which, because the lot next to him to the north is actually a residential, he is held to a higher standard of setbacks and things like that. So the variances, because there's a driveway which is actually zoned residential to his north and actually to his east, he has a higher standard to meet those residential, but with the road being to the north, it's a private drive to the future church, or to a church. That's why some of the variances were allowed. We didn't give him the opportunity to for the variance for the bike rack, because we never know what this building will be in 50 years. So, Nancy, any comments, questions regarding his request for BZA variances? Some of it required fencing. We thought landscaping would be more appropriate and more aesthetically pleasing in that area, so that's why.
No, I think you got it pretty well summed up.
And I was going to say the only thing that Ken and I had talked about recently was a finalized landscape plan. Unfortunately, like much of the industry right now, those guys are backed up pretty far. So we're just waiting on the finalized landscape plan. But what I would ask is the site plan be approved contingent on receipt of an approved landscape plan, and I'd be happy to send that to Ken once that's received.
That would be my recommendation as well, Jeff. And also, from our understanding, there's no application or fee on file, we would also make a contingent on an application and if, the fee paid for the site plan.
Absolutely.
So does, just for the, if there's any questions or comments, so again, at the pleasure of the board for site plan, if you could make it contingent on, receipt and review of a landscaping plan per Ken. And second, submittal of an application and the fee to the town for the site plan. And this has to be referenced finding of facts for a site plan, right? Am I got in the motion? So if you would, also reference the finding of facts as well as Ken's letter. And did I read Ken's letter? No. I will read Ken's letter. Dear Plan Commission, we have reviewed the site plan and find it to be satisfactory. However, there are several.
We're coming through very clearly.
Sorry. We have reviewed the site plan and find it to be satisfactory. However, there are several sheets and reports in the submittal that erroneously have lot number 1418 as the address. So then you'll rectify that, hopefully.
Yeah, that's correct.
We have not reviewed the architectural plans or exhibit and leave the approval for them with the building and planning department, as always. A revised landscaping plan needs to be submitted for review, but it will not be ready in time for the November Plan Commission. So again, contingent, whatever our decision is, that a revised landscape plan be submitted for review. We have a check and parking calculations and find them to be satisfactory. The site plan review fee for this project is $1,500. So again, application and fee is contingent on whatever recommendation or decision. And the SWIP is included in the project plan but has not been reviewed at this time. The fee for this review will be determined at the time of review. Sincerely, Ken. If there is no questions or comments, I will entertain a motion for Plan Commission action. And please, the two contingencies, reference finding of fact, and Ken's letter, please.
Want to make a motion to approve Smythe DDS Development Site Plan for a medical office with contingent of the landscape review and receipt and Ken Krause's letter. Did I miss anything?
So we got approval.
And finding, and, I'm sorry, and findings of fact.
So you got the application and fee.
Yep.
Landscape review and approval, and the finding of fact and Ken. Okay, so we got a motion with the two contingencies, finding of facts, and Ken's letter. Is there a second to that?
I'll second that.
We got a second by Jason. Any other further discussion or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Bob Rolson,
Yes.
Yolanda Cardona,
Yes.
John Gill,
Yes.
Donna Little,
Yes.
Jason Vlasic,
Yes.
Nancy Woland,
Yes.
John Kennedy.
Yes, motion to approve, approved. Next on the agenda is public hearing announcements. There will be 4. Will we have everything in ready for 17B for December? Okay.
We'll work on the weekends to get it done.
Public hearing announcement, the St. John Commons, Monfort Subdivision, and Gates of St. John 17B.
Just, I want to make a note real quick for the Monfort subdivision. We have a name for that subdivision. It's going to be called Avondale. At the time this was created, we didn't have a name for the subdivision, so we're just calling it Monfort based on the street name, but it would be Avondale subdivision,
How
one
do you
lot.
spell that?
Avondale?
Avondale?
Yes. It's a one-lot subdivision.
With that, public comment. State your name and address for the record, please, sir.
Yes. Again, my name is Terry A. Nelleman. Our address is, mine and my wife's address is 9500 West 103rd Place, St. John. Again, I am up here to ask that, with everything I've said, all the documents that the town council has, documents that John Gill has, and documents that the Hammond Times has, I am asking you to please make a non-favorable recommendation on any and all the Gates of St. John Homeowners Association affiliation with John Lawton. It involves the dangerous homes that Lennar built, let me finish, which the town, Mr. Gill, and the Hammond Times has knowledge of. Again, please, again, make it a non-favorable recommendation to the city council in regards to this. Lennar has notified us of legal action, which is has a lot to do with the harboring of the dangerous homes built in St. John. Now, Mr. Kuiper said this has got nothing to do with the Lennar homes, which I agree. But the problem is the homeowners association continued to let Lennar build these homes when they had knowledge of it. Again, the whole council has got documentations galore. The town council attorney did have conversation with me at one of these meetings. Mr. Gill is very, very knowledgeable of the documents. And again, the Hammond Times has got it. Please, non-favorable recommendation to the city council on anything that Lennar is, anything that the Gates of St. John Homeowners Association or John Lawton's group of companies, LLCs, whatever. Again, thank you very much. I am sorry, Mr. Kennedy, for the outburst, but I just made it, I wanted to clarify for myself whether I was out of line or whatever. And you straightened me out. I thank you.
I appreciate that, sir. I never want to take away someone's ability to speak, but I just got
Thank you.
I just got to make sure it's at the appropriate time.
Trust me, I wouldn't be here if I didn't think it was a serious thing. And it's a very, very serious problem.
And this board appreciates you coming out here and taking time out of your evening to express your concern. We do take public comment seriously, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And please, again, non-favorable pertaining to anything with the homeowners, the Gates of St. John Homeowners Association, anything having to do with the Lawton Group Association, LLCs, or whatever. The documents are there. Plenty of documents are there for legal review. We don't know how deep the federal government is involved, but we sure hope they're in deep and getting to the bottom of this. I thank you very much for your time. I'm here for our community. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here for no money. And last, I have no ambition for any political office. Thank you.
Join the club. All right. With that, we are adjourned. Fees for preliminary plan approval.